Well, winter is here, and it's a first alert morning for slick travel conditions, and we've got what you need to know so you can be prepared. Now, TV6's Kayla Page is live this morning with more on how you can be ready for what Mother Nature may throw at you. Kayla?
Good morning. Yeah, that's right, Dustin. So earlier we were talking about having your snowblowers and how to purchase the right kind of one that you need for your best works for you. Now, when you get that snowblower, you have to consider all the things in terms of how to maintain it and keep it up to date. Now, joining me again is Greg Guy with Northern Tool and Equipment. Now, Greg, so you get the snowblower, if you finally get it, it's not working. You get outdoors, you get into the snowstorm, and it is not working properly. How do you best maintain it to keep it good and well maintained throughout the winter months?
So if you're running into trouble where the engine's not starting, the first thing you want to check is the fuel system. So if you're familiar with what a carburetor is, if not, YouTube's a great resource for everything. You want to make sure that your carburetor is cleaned out. So typically the most common cause of failure in an engine is going to be a clogged carb, because gas takes 30 days to start to go bad. It's awfully quick. So you'll want to start with cleaning that out first. Now, if you've cleaned it, you've put it back together, you've drained the old fuel, you'll want to, and it still doesn't start, you want to check the ignition system, and that's just simply pulling out the spark plug and then replacing it with a new one. If that still doesn't work, I would recommend bringing it down to Northern, give it to our shop, and we'll be able to tell you what's going on with it. But really, the biggest key to keeping this guy running is really proper maintenance. So you want to make sure that you're using good, clean, treated fuel. We've got a product, a stabilizer, that all you have to do is add 1 ounce per gallon that you put in. I'm a huge fan of just putting it into the gas can that you keep throughout the year and using that to keep your gas fresh and clean.
Gotcha. Okay. And then when it comes to just overall safety tips in general for any of the tools that you may use, what is it best to do? What are the common injuries? What can happen if you use it incorrectly? And then again, just what are those safety tips that people should know?
The biggest thing that I've heard about are people who forget to disengage the engine or to turn it off before they start to unclog the auger. If you ever have an auger that's clogged, or you've got all that ice builds up or that really wet snow packs in, most units are going to have a little shovel on there. You'll have some type of tool to be able to clear that out, but you have to turn the engine off first, otherwise those augers are going to start spinning freely, and that's not where you want to have your hand in there when that happens.
Absolutely. And is there any other winter tips that people should just know about when it comes to overall equipment maintenance?
You know, I'm a huge fan of doing your own maintenance, doing whatever you can for your unit, but I think every couple of years or so, I really recommend bringing it into a shop like we have here, just to make sure that everything is going up. Belts are a big thing that a lot of people overlook too, and when a snowblower doesn't work, it doesn't work when you're not using it, and it's really tough when you're in the middle of it and then a belt breaks and you can't use your snowblower.
Gotcha. Perfect. So again, right now is that perfect time. So again, invest in those kind of good pieces of equipment and make sure it's up to date for the winter months ahead. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me this morning. And again, we'll be back again later on in the next half hour. Live in Davenport, Kayla Page, TV6 News.
Thank you, Kayla. Now, with proper usage, a snowblower can last 5 to 10 years on average. Now, the Consumer Product Safety Commission says there are over 5,700 ER visits each year from snow-related injuries.